Good morning. Today is day 51 of moving mountains beneath my feet. It's 70 days around the sun. There's 295 days left. And today is episode 30. So for 30 days I've been recording this message every day and putting it out there into the world. And so I'm celebrating myself today for making it to 30 days. Very cool. And getting right into it. You know, yesterday I was talking about how your feelings are a guide, and sure enough, as soon as I open my mouth, life, the universe decides to, make me eat what I'm saying, right? It's like, if you're saying it, you better eat it too. And so, of course, I was faced with all kinds of emotions that I just didn't enjoy feeling. Which I was constantly reminded yesterday, like, hey, you're out of alignment with what you want. What are you thinking about? You're thinking about this in the way that is way out of what you want, And it's difficult, right? It's a difficult thing to navigate and deal with. I felt anxiety and anxious about things in my life a lot of the day. I'm also doing a cleanse. I don't think that had anything to do with it. Maybe it could have. I was on smoothies all day yesterday, no cooked food or anything. But anyway, in sitting in that experience all day yesterday, I had another little thing that happened at the top of the mountain yesterday when I got there. I went back a different way than the way I came, and I explored different areas, but from the very top, I had the urge to stop at the very top, like right below where the top is. There's like this very rocky path, and it's not dirt. It's almost like limestone or something. And I just had the desire to sit there in the middle of the path, and I just sat there because of the quiet. The level of quiet up there is just unreal. Like, you can probably hear my footsteps, but you can hear like birds and stuff. Where I'm at up there, it just seems so much quieter. It's like you can hear yourself like thinking, like breathing, like you can hear a little lizard walking, on the side of the path. And so I just sat there in the quiet for a good while, and I had this little experience with a tiny little lizard, sitting there thinking about things in my life, thinking about the things that I want. And as I thought about these things that I wanted in a way that was like moving in that direction, the lizard would start to move closer to me. And in the moment I would start to think about that thing in the context of what I don't have, or in a way that was like repelling it, it almost seemed like the lizard was moving away from me. And so this dance went on for a good 10 or 15 minutes of the lizard moving closer to me and the lizard moving away from me. And each time it corresponded with the way that I was thinking. And the level of like nuance, and I don't know how to communicate this. What I'm trying to say is it's so delicate. The level of thought, like how do you control what you're thinking or which way that you're thinking? It's almost like a thread, right? It's so delicate, the way that you think, whether you're repelling or attracting. And this little lizard kept moving towards me, and then I'd have a thought, and I guess the energy I was giving off, I was still motionless regardless. I wasn't moving at all, because I knew this lizard was there and I didn't want to scare him. And so it was like my energy was either attracting the lizard or making it feel like, hey, it's safe to move in this direction, or repelling the lizard, making it feel like, hey, I shouldn't move this way, I should move away from this giant brown being on the path here. And it just made me really think. I reflected on that for a while, about how nuanced and how delicate the way that we're approaching things and holding things out of our life that we want. You may want a loving relationship with all of your heart, but how are you thinking about it? How are you attracting that? You may be repelling that. You may want abundance and money to flow into your life, but how are you thinking and feeling about money? And how are you repelling that? Or how are you attracting that, right? Obviously, you have to do things, right? It's great to have your head in the clouds, but also your feet on the ground. So you have to do things. But I believe that how you feel determines how you're going to act, right? So if you feel a certain way about relationships or money, you're going to act in a different way that either repels or attracts them, right? And so that was just the big moment that happened after my talk, but it coincided. And then the rest of the experience was, hey, you're going to have a hard day because of what you're thinking. And you're going to be reminded over and over that you're out of alignment with what you want. And how can you bring yourself back into alignment? And I can't say that it just magically got better during the day, but I can say that the awareness made me very, very, I guess, aware of what I was doing. And I think that the awareness is going to help me to be better about that, right? And so that's what I want to share on that. I heard something today that stopped me on my tracks. I can't remember who said it, but he said, the size of a crowd is not proportional to the value of the decision that they're making. And I had to rewind that and play it again. The size of a crowd is not proportional to the value of the decision they're making. And that was just like hit me like, yo, there's so many people, who validate what they do and how they live in their life, whether it be what kind of diet you eat, whether it be how you think of the world, how you see business, how you see love, how you see relationships. A lot of people value and place more value based on the size of the crowd behind that thought process, behind the value of the decisions that crowd is making. But the value is not proportional to the size of the crowd, because millions and billions of people could be making the wrong decisions, right? Bad decisions that are not leading them where they want to go, are not leading you to the relationships that you want, decisions that are not leading you to the relationships with your spouse or your loved ones or your kids that you want, or the business that you want, right? There's so many people out there preaching, there's so many men out there preaching, work your face off, work hard till you die, this hustle culture, you got to give it, 150% or you're not going to make it. And they're sacrificing their relationships. And so what the hell are you doing all this shit for all this money for when your relationships are terrible and they're in the garbage? You lost your wife, maybe you're on your third marriage, your kids don't know you, they never spend time with you. Like, what are you really doing? You're basing your decisions, putting more value based on what the size of the crowd, right? The crowd is saying, this is how you do it. This is how you get there. And it's okay because everybody's just trying to find their way. But just understanding that, you have to think for yourself. You have to realize and understand, what is it that I really want? What am I really doing this for, right? I fell into that trap as an entrepreneur my whole life, working super hard, overworking, being a workaholic, spinning my wheels, being a solopreneur, trying to do everything myself, not wanting to hire a team, all of these things at the sacrifice of at the time I only had one child, my little girl, who just wanted to hang out with me. And, on my weekend when I could see her, I was still busy working. And all she wanted was my time, And I think about that, in a way that's, I don't hurt anymore from it, but I do regret those days that I chose to sit at the computer working when what I really needed to do was just spend some time playing with my little girl. And so I just wanted to bring that up and make mention of that. It's like, are you following and making decisions based on the size of a crowd? Or are you really examining what decisions you're making in your life that are leading you to what you want to be, where you want to be, or away from what you want to do and what you want to be? Anyway, that's what I had to share for today. I hope you have a beautiful day, magnificent day. Blessings.